welcome back to week 10 of the Pokemon Draft League. Things are changing up a little bit. I'm going to try a format where I'm putting both the team builder and the battle in one video. Also, before we go into the team builder for this week, the playoff format was changed a little bit and everybody is making it in. So that's kind of limited my motivation to, place first. There is a small benefit to placing first where you get a first round bye. But you're going to start seeing some more wacky teams from me probably. So let's start off with one of the wackier ones, Physical Hatterene. Adamant Nuzzle, Play Rough, Shadow Claw, and then Ice Terra Blast. With Assault Vest. This Hatterene's designed to be bulky to live his one-shot things and just lock things down with Nuzzle and then hopefully do a surprising amount of damage. We'll see how it goes, but I felt like I really wanted this to be the big wrinkle for this week. It's something I've been looking at for a while. I was looking up, all right, Physical Hatterene, it's got 90 base attack. Let's see what type of moves it learns. And then I see Nuzzle. Why it gets Nuzzle, I don't know, but it does, so we would be fools not to try to use it. Next up, we have HYDREIGON. We are not going Trick Room this week. Again, change things up. And HYDREIGON learns Tailwind. Let's give it a shot. So we're going Terra Steel Flash Cannon, mostly worried about his Gardevoir, so this not only resists the fairy type moves I'm expecting to come in, but also lets me do super effective damage against them. Earth Power for some of my opponent's fire types, especially Arcanine. That's what I was really worried about this week, because I know it liked to be a little bit bulky. Heat Wave to combine with TORKOAL Sun. Spoiler alert, we're bringing TORKOAL this week. And then Tailwind. Same thing as usual, Life Orb and Timid, and hopefully just put out a lot of damage. I'm hoping the Steel Beam really catches him off guard. So we talked about it. You all know it. It's everybody's favorite turtle, TORKOAL. Nothing new this week. Same ability, same nature, same held item, same moveset for the most part. Only real difference this week is Terra Water. I didn't want him to really be hurt that much by some more super effective things coming in. I was worried about things like Tyranitar, a little bit of Roaring Mood in case it had like Rock Slide and stuff like that. Figured Terra Water would be a nice defensive typing. Wasn't what we were planning on using Terra on this week, but still, if we had to in a pinch, it could help us live an extra couple attacks, hopefully. What's better than a Nuzzle on a Pokemon that my opponent doesn't expect them to have? Well, how about Thunder Wave on a Prankster Pokemon to lock even more things down? Welcome to Klefki. Decent defensive typing, except for against Arcanine. Thunder Wave, Prankster Screens, and Dazzling Gleam for a little bit of offensive pressure in case it needs to do some work against his Roaring Moon. But Covert Cloak in case he brings Fake out, we could still get something up. So basically the idea this week was kind of lock him down with Thunder Waves and Nuzzles through Paralysis. If they do get off an attack, hopefully have Reflect and Light Screen up to mitigate that attack. And then we would hopefully just get to take more turns, is essentially what it is. We'd get more moves out, ergo, we would win. Let's have some more fun in the sun with Brute Bonnet. We can bring Loaded Dice to combine with Bullet Seed. Photosynthesis gets triggered by TORKOAL, which I was fairly confident I could use, even with Tyranitar on the enemy team. Rage Powder to redirect in case we wanted to get off more annoying things. Bullet Seed again with the Loaded Dice. Sucker Punch for a priority move. And Close Combat because he does not like fighting type moves. T-Tar, Roaring Moon, and just some of his other stuff. Close Combat hits hard and really just the weaknesses on my opponent's team really makes it helpful to bring this week. So a very bulky, hopefully, but also a very hard-hitting Brute Bonnet with a little bit of utility through Rage Powder. I thought about Spore, and then I realized it would probably be competing too much with Thunder Waves. The only thing Spore would hit that Thunder Waves wouldn't would be Gastrodon, not counting Terras. Finally, SCOVILLAIN. I was worried about Gastrodon. When we faced Purple in week 1, his Gastrodon was a big issue for me. Gastrodon this week is one of the reasons I brought Terra Ice Hatterene. It's one of the reasons I'm bringing Bullet Seed, Brute Bonnet, and SCOVILLAIN to combine with the Sun. Also has Rage Powder for redirects, Flamethrower just to hit some things with a stab move in the sub if we want, Solar Beam combined with the Sun. Are you guys seeing a pattern? I hope so. But more importantly, we have a little bit of spice, and that would be Spicy Extract. I kind of really wanted to combine Spicy Extract with Hatterene. We could also use it offensively to lower my opponent's defense. Basically, paralyze things, lower its defense first through a chlorophylled Spicy Extract. and then we could hit it hard with whatever physical attacker we have out. So it's a little bit of a mixture of utility and special attacking. And then we also put full special defense EVs into it, instead of special attack EVs. That probably would have been a mistake. I probably should have run some calcs on it. But you guys will see how it turns out in the battle. That should be coming up shortly. That's our team this week. No Trick Room, no Rabska, so no Revival Blessing. Physical Hatterene. It's just a weird one this week. But stick around for the battle. It'll be coming up right after this, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Alright, so for game one, the first thing I noticed is he did not bring Gastrodon. This is something I had prepped pretty heavily for. One of the reasons we brought Terra Ice Hatterene. I really wasn't expecting the Drift Blim. Everything else was kind of expected. I decided to start with HYDREIGON Klefki. This lets me get Thunder Waves out, maybe get Screens up, and maybe get Tailwind up as well. And then HYDREIGON just in general has decent coverage for the rest of his team if I just want to go offensive with it. So his team's quite a bit frailer, I think, than I initially expected without the Gastrodon. I thought Gastrodon would kind of be there, absorb some attacks, and be general pain to remove, especially if it brought Recover. So he starts with Drift Blim and the Toxtricity. I know Toxtricity brings Boom Burst. I wasn't really respecting it, though. And so I just want to lock something down with an early Thunder Wave. I know I can't Thunder Wave the Toxtricity, so we don't worry about it. And then try to get Tailwind up. The turn 1 Terra kind of caught me off guard. And him tearing into normal type let me know I was about to be in for a whole load of hurt. With Spread, Boom Burst, Drift Blim's Ghost type. It protected anyway, which stops the Thunder Wave from going in. But we get Tailwind up, so we should be moving fairly fast in general. This first game was kind of a test to see, okay, my Mons aren't guaranteed to go first, especially things like TORKOAL and Hatterene to have like base 20 and I think 35, 30 speed respectively. Terra Normal Boom Burst one-shotting HYDREIGON kinda sucked. Not gonna lie. I did not notice this Flame Orb go off. So for next turn, I didn't realize that Drift Blim was burned. And I asked my opponent afterwards, because I wasn't aware that Drift Blim learned Flare Boost. So I actually had to ask him after the game, after the entire set, like, why Flame Orb Drift Blim? Because I understand it for people with guts and stuff like that. I just didn't know Drift Blim had a synergy with it. So I'm hoping Brute Bonnet can get off something like a Close Combat onto the Terra Normal, Toxtricity, that's the name. I've said it a couple times. Yeah, hopefully get off a Terra or a Close Combat. There, I try Thunder Wave into the already burned Drift Blim. And then we take that out. And then we also have decent typing up against the Drift Blim, depending on its set. It is part flying, so if it brings a flying move like Air Slash, we could be in a little bit of trouble. But we at least get rid of his Terra. Does have Air Slash, which is disappointing. And it just one-shots her Bonnet. So we're down 2-1 right now. Klefki's still out. Should still be able to put off some Thunder Waves if we get a chance. And I know I want to try to combine TORKOAL with SCOVILLAIN. So I'm trying to figure out here, do I put out TORKOAL or do I put out our big trick for the week, which is Physical Hatterene? So we sent it out, and he has T-Tar. T-Tar is fairly weak to Hatterene in general. It does have the Dark typing that can help, but it's also weak to Fairy. So here I'm trying to figure out what do I do, and I think I just want to take out this burned Drift Blim. It's probably fairly bulky. The sand being up actually isn't a horrible thing, because we can put TORKOAL out to deal with it, to get rid of it. That's a little bit of an issue, though. Intimidate into our physical Hatterene. No! That does, like, next to nothing. Shadow Ball does about half, which kind of sucks, but... So again, if we weren't intimidated, that would do a little bit more, and then at that point we might be able to two-shot it, but... We have to note that even with Tailwind up, we're still slower than Driftblim Hatterene is. And I'm just assuming we're slower than the Arcanine. The goal now is to lock down the Arcanine, hopefully. So at this point, I'm considering, do I just Terra Ice and then Terra Blast to the Driftblim to try to remove it? Because the Shadow Claw did not do as much as I was hoping, so maybe if we get some stab on it, that'd be alright. I'm just comparing powers. I still don't have, like, the base power for all the moves down yet. I think that's just going to take time. Especially things like Shadow Claw that my team, I think, only Hatterene can use. Maybe HYDREIGON gets it too. But I was looking at the total stat spreads after this match, after my friend did the spreads for me. And even with like attack nature and full attack investment in EVs on Hatterene, the special attack wasn't that far behind, which was kind of funny. So the Terra also lets us live that. We get a Terra Blast off, which is very nice. And we do manage to take out the Driftblim, which is great. So now we don't have to worry about that flare-boosted Driftblim. We're still not in a great position because of this. Even if we were EV'd, we weren't living a flare bit. So we're fine with that. I'm expecting an extreme speed into the Hatterene coming up. So now I have a couple options. I can put TORKOAL out just to have the immediate pressure and the earth power for Arcanine, or I could put SCOVILLAIN out and then do a swap on Hatterene to get the chlorophyll, like a sneaky chlorophyll trigger. So that's a little bit of a pain. So here I think I'm going to try to take out the Tyranitar. Remember, our SCOVILLAIN this week is specially defensive and instead of specially attack focused. So if I just go TORKOAL to trigger this, it'll definitely go, the SCOVILLAIN will definitely go first. And we'll get a turn 1 Solar Beam off into the Tyranitar, which would hopefully take care of it under normal circumstances. I have to remember he still has Roaring Moon in the back. Yeah, there's the extreme speed we were expecting. And then here's the Solar Beam. And I'm pretty certain if we had done special attack EVs in nature, it'd be fine. We wouldn't have to worry about that. We'd be in a lot better position. We wouldn't be great because we'd still have to deal with the Roaring Moon, who probably has dual Wing Beat and some sort of fire cover, like fire weakness coverage through rock or ground. But fire off another one. I figure even if he switches in, he doesn't want to take it, and I'll just Earth Power that. SCOVILLAIN's the fastest thing on the field right now, and he doesn't have a way to reset it, like reset the weather, because Tyranitar's already out. I kind of wanted to get like Tailwind, Chlorophyll, SCOVILLAIN in the sun just for fun. Because, I mean, like, if you were actually watching a battle, that thing would be so fast. Like, so fast. 4 times speed multiplier. That would have been great. Anyway, we take out the Tyranitar. Good to know we can't one-shot it with Solar Beam. We still haven't gotten a full paralysis on that Arcanine, which is kind of disappointing. And then us not taking it out there is also disappointing. Yeah, paralysis in here would have been huge. So we put out the Hatterene, the barely alive Hatterene, but maybe it can get an attack off. So there's the Roaring Moon. If we get a play rough off on it, we'll be fine. I doubt he's going to let that happen, though. But so basically, if he gets paralyzed, there's a chance, depending on what he goes into. Yeah. My guess is he doubled up into the Hatterene. And then if it went down, just Roaring Moon could finish off the TORKOAL. But him having Rock Slide's good to know. It's aggravating because we have quite a few rock weaknesses. But it's good to know. So that was game one. Overall, one didn't go horribly. We got him down to Arcanine and Roaring Moon. If we had gotten a Paralysis in there and kept like SCOVILLAIN out or something, we might have been in a better position. Alrighty, so for game two, I realized my initial lead had some power to it. HYDREIGON, again, puts on the pressure. Klefki can start locking things down pretty quickly. So I actually decided to go with the same lead. I just need to make some adjustments. Be careful of his Drifblim with Flame Orb, and go from there. I also don't think I used my Terra that well last game. I used the Terra Ice Hatterene to try to lock down the Drifblim. I probably could have gotten more out of it if I used it on something like HYDREIGON that's Terra Steel. Stuff like that. I have a Terra Water TORKOAL just for defense, which could be useful, but I think I need more offense this game. For the second game, he completely changes up what he's leading with, so he goes with Gardevoir and Arcanine. This puts me in a little bit of a weird position, because it seems like to be the perfect time for Terra Steel into Flash Cannon on the Gardevoir. But that puts me at a pretty big risk of a Flare Blitz from the Arcanine. So I was double checking that I was Terra Steel. So I can do this and then just be very careful of the lockdown of, or the Flare Blitz from Arcanine. I don't run calcs or anything, so I wasn't sure this Flash Cannon was even going to kill. Little bit of a risk, but I figured Gardevoir might have like Mystical Fire for the Klefki, or just as a little bit of coverage. So I have quite a few Steel and Grass Mons on my roster. So it does take it out. We did crit, and I don't know if that made a difference. But being able to take out Gardevoir that quickly was huge. There's the Flare Blitz. So here's that attack in particular is where I'm wondering if having EVs on my Pokemon, on my Klefki, would have made a difference. Because I think it would have. If I had gone like full defense EVs, like I probably would have. I think he still could have KO'd, but he would have had to get a max roll. It was a very low percentage chance. So I think that would have made a difference, which is unfortunate. But we still got the Thunder Wave off, so Klefki gets more than it probably should. I don't know. This season, I have not valued Klefki super highly. It's weird because, yes, it's a Trick Room setter, but it's also good at locking things down with Paralysis, which lowers their speed and makes them better in Trick Room. So that's something I've had to struggle against. If I want status ailments or status effects, I usually want to go for like Spore from Brute Bonnet. But that's all right. Again, this week and probably the upcoming weeks, I'm going to be trying out different things. Just trying to have some fun with it before we get in the playoffs. I don't think I showed Nuzzle last game. So I want to try that here. And unless he goes for extreme speed, I'm pretty sure HYDREIGON's Earth Power can KO the Arcanine before it gets to act. So if we get to do, like, Play Rough into it, yeah. There's a Drifblim, we get the Earth Power out. And hugely, I had gone for the tempo play more than just the big one-shot KO. We nuzzle into the Drifblim so it doesn't get to protect Flame Orb. Which is kind of nice. So that was pretty much a free turn for us. He got sand up and that was about it. We KO'd his Arcanine and locked down Drifblim. Here I feel like we're in a pretty decent position. I still have to worry about the Terra Normal Boom Burst Toxtricity, but with HYDREIGON now terraing into Steel and us putting 252 defense EVs into the Hatterene and then just slapping an Assault Vest on it, I'm pretty certain Hatterene can live a Boom Burst even if it is terra'd. The fact that he takes a while in this move worries me a little bit, but here comes the Toxtricity. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Terra Boom Burst. Which probably won't KO anything, but is still going to hurt. At this point, I'm considering trying to read the Terra Normal, because if he Terra Normals, we can paralyze it with Nuzzle. And I think that's his only way, like, back into the game right now. So if I can just lock it down and get Tailwind up, I feel like I'm in a really good position. As soon as I see this, I know I read the situation correctly. Tailwind goes up. His things all are locked down. So I was hoping even with the slower Pokemon in our team, if we had things, and yes, we do live a Boom Burst on both ends. If we have everything locked down with Paralysis, we can still move faster, even with TORKOAL and Hatterene. Still no fully parried, which sucks. So there goes Hatterene. It got off a Nuzzle. It got off 2 Nuzzles, and that was it. But hey, Paralysis is Paralysis. So from here on out, I know I don't have any more Paralysis to lock down my opponent. We don't have a way to bring anything back with Rabsco this week. I want to get rid of the Sand. And I want Sun Up. Now we have options like Eruption, and we brought Heat Wave on the HYDREIGON as well to combine with this. So he does have Tyranitar in the back. So here's the test. Is TORKOAL faster? It's not faster than HYDREIGON. Is it faster than his Mons that are paralyzed while we have Tailwind up? The answer is yes. At least faster than Drifblim. I don't know what would have been faster than Toxtricity, but faster than Drifblim is kind of nice. Now, I feel like I'm in a pretty great spot. He has Roaring Moon and T-Tar left. Roaring Moon's a bit of an issue, but the nice thing about these is he's already used his Terra. He's really weak to close combat. Yeah, now it's just, what can I do to get rid of stuff? Because, I mean, I'm expecting a Rock Slide to come out from at least one of them, if not both. These are two very scary mons. Flash Cannon, again, getting a lot of mileage this this set. Only took it to half, which was kind of rough. But okay. Even though we resisted it, the Dragon Claw comes out. We at least get some knowledge out of that, though. See, I'm still fairly confident we have, as I said, we have Brute Bonnet. We don't have a way to trigger its photosynthesis, but it's still going to do quite a bit of work. Only thing I'm really worried about here is something like Dual Wing Beat from the Roaring Moon. If I remember right, he brought it week 1 when we faced before. But we should hopefully just be able to start close combating him down. Still don't think we got a fully para'd this game. And we had 3 things paralyzed. Arcanine, Driftblim, and Toxtricity. That's weird to say. We paralyzed his Toxtricity. That's aggravating, but it takes TORKOAL out. So now we just have SCOVILLAIN. Don't know if the crit mattered. But at this point, I'm not too concerned about it. We don't have Tailwind anymore. Brute Bonnet's base speed's actually pretty low. It's 55. Its base speed stat. So that is a little concerning, but yeah, even though it's not super effective, I didn't want to wait 2 turns and potentially get messed up by a Rock Slide Flinch. And we still outspeed T-Tar. So that's game 2. I'm pretty surprised our team managed to take a game this week. Like, very surprised. But some good reads with Nuzzles, Brute Bonnet coming in cleaned up. All went pretty well for us. So we're getting ready for the deciding game 3. All right, so the defining game 3. I didn't think we were going to make it, but now I dare to hope. I knew Brute Bonnet could do some damage. I wanted to go with Klefki and Brute Bonnet to start. Klefki threatens Thunder Waves and could maybe absorb a fire attack from Arcanine, or sorry, be targeted by a fire attack. As Brute Bonnet out, I kind of wanted to switch TORKOAL in for Klefki. So kind of bait out a fire attack that we'd be able to resist heavily with TORKOAL, trigger Brute Bonnet's photosynthesis, and then get off a big loaded dice or close combat or even a sucker punch with that, and hopefully Oko something. So that was the goal with this. I started with this lead intending to switch TORKOAL in for whatever I started with, whatever I led with, to complement the Brute Bonnet, and I figured Klefki would make it the most helpful to absorb a fire attack if he led with Arcanine, or if like Roaring Moon, or if Roaring Moon had one, or if Gardevoir had Mystical Fire. So that was my thought on this start. So my opponent starts off with Driftblim and Tyranitar. There's not really anything I can do to stop the Protect Flame Orb from going up. So I want to deal with the Tyranitar. And so I figure that the Tyranitar is going to expect the close combat and probably switch out. So I wanted to fire a Bullet Seed in, because really the only thing that wanted to eat a loaded dice photosynthesized Bullet Seed would be the Arcanine, maybe, and even then it would do decent damage. I didn't want something to come in and just close combat to lower my defenses and then just not do a whole lot of damage. So I felt like the loaded dice Bullet Seed would be way more efficient here, way more effective. So Again, him taking this long in turn 1 also had me a little bit worried. Maybe he was expecting me to T-Wave the Tyranitar. I was trying to figure out what to do about it. So we bring the Torkoal, get the sun up to get rid of the Sandstorm, which is nice. Proc photosynthesis, sorry. And then he Terras, and I'm not sure what he's Terra-ing at this point. It's not something that horribly terrifies me. You guys can't see the face I just made. Don't worry about it. So the Terra Ground, I'm big cooking. I am happy as all get out. I knew the Protect was coming. Couldn't do anything about it. But now we have this. And little surprised that Bullet Seed didn't do more. But as soon as I saw it doing at least 25%, I knew we were good. So we one-shot his Tyranitar and get rid of his Terra. Turn 1. We have Sun up. He doesn't have a way to get rid of it now. We're in pretty decent shape. We don't have Trick Room or anything up, but we still have a Torkoal in the Sun and a proto-synthesized Brute Bonnet. Arcanine is a bit of an issue. At this point, Brute Bonnet's in a little bit of trouble. The Intimidate really hurts. But I'm just going to try to get rid of this. And then Earth Power the Arcanine. I don't really have any good options against this combination on Torkoal. I can't Earth Power the Drifblim. And I can't Heat Wave or Eruption and also damage the Arcanine. So I don't know if the Intimidate made a difference there. It might have. Still did a good chunk, but it might have made a difference. So we lose Brute Bonnet pretty quickly, which has to be the help for him, although it already eliminated one of his. I was worried about a flinch here. Luckily, we didn't get flinched. And we managed to take out the Arcanine. So we're up 2-1. Kind of the opposite of game 1. But he still has Roaring Moon, Boom Burst, Electricity, or Toxtricity, sorry. Even though he doesn't have the Terra Normal for it anymore. So there's the Roaring Moon we're a little concerned about. SCOVILLAIN's not a great setup. We don't have anything that really does a lot to Roaring Moon. We could have gone Hatterene. I'm worried about some stuff, but... So at this point, I'm hoping Flamethrower in the Sun can take out Drifblim, because it's faster. I'm trying to figure out, do I Protect here, or do I just go for the Earth Power damage on Roaring Moon? I figure I'll just take the damage. Unfortunately, Roaring Moon has Rock Slide. Which crits SCOVILLAIN, which absolutely sucks. That crit was... The fact it hit both of us and then also crit was really, really not good. So I'm going to go like this. We still have to worry about the Gardevoir and Toxtricity. But we should be able to start locking things down. So we pretty much have to Terra here. So do I Tailwind or do I just start firing off attacks? I think I switched into Hatterene here, expecting a dragon type attack to come out, like a Dragon Claw. to come out. Thunderwave is nice. Rock Slide again. We actually get a full para. I don't know how big of a deal it is, but we do get a full para. I'm not sure why I didn't T-Wave the Roaring Moon. And looking back, this might have been my biggest misplay of the entire set. I'm not sure why I didn't T-Wave the Roaring Moon. Maybe I thought we'd be able to get... and he was expecting... Maybe... I don't remember. I'm recording this a few days later. I don't remember if I was expecting to switch into Toxtricity. Unfortunately, he gets... So a paralyzed Gardevoir is still faster than Hatterene. The sunlight's gone, though. And I should have put up light screen there. So I'm just kind of making big misplays left and right. Light screen should have gone up. Especially in the face of these two. Telepathy was an interesting adaptation. It does some, not a ton. So now, all of a sudden, after a fairly decent start, we have HYDREIGON. And that is it. So I just want to take care of this Gardevoir because I don't want to have to worry about Mystical Fire into it. And then whatever Toxtricity has probably won't do a ton to HYDREIGON, Terra Steel, HYDREIGON. If he's going for like a Sludge Wave or something too, we'll be alright. Yeah, not having a light screen up was kind of a misplay. Unfortunately, it doesn't KO. Boom Burst again. We go down to 100. It was Life Orb too, which is interesting. We get another full para. But here, like that, if we had light screen up, we could have lived with significantly more, which probably would have made a bigger deal later on. Because after we KO these two, it goes down to a one-on-one between my half hit point HYDREIGON and his Roaring Moon. So we do Heat Wave, we managed to get both of them, which is nice. But at the cost of a little bit of health on us. So now it's just a stats check. Figure just stab against him, even if it's not super effective, is my best option. And there, once he goes first, I know it's over. Which is unfortunate, because if we had one more attack, we would have gotten him. So I'm hoping it's a speed tie. And we win this one. We don't, unfortunately, and even Dragon Claw, even though it's not very effective KOs. So super unfortunately, but this was way closer than I thought it would be going this week. Even though we lost, my confidence is pretty high. I win with kind of a joke team thrown together around a funny concept and got this well. Good games to purple. See everyone next week.